Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today guys, I have got game 1 of a best of 3. It is between ATN's Delphi, the Zerg player in the lower left position, and in the top right we have frozz, the Terran player, and well, this is going to be a good ZvT. I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously it is a best of 3 game, so I'm looking forward to seeing if we go a 2-0 or if we get a 2-1, because obviously these two, I'm not sure who, I don't think I've ever cast one of frozz's games before, but Delphi I know is very good, so I'm looking forward to this. Now, let's talk a little bit about strategy. The Zerg player, well, it's going to be a 15 hatch down here, followed up by 16 pull. The Terran, well, I'm almost guaranteeing it's going to be a 1 Rax command center opening. It's a really strong opening against Zerg. It's pretty much the standard metagame now, and you'd be crazy not to do it. And the reason it works so well is because you've got the barracks for the early Marines and a bit of defense. You've got the command center down early, really pretty much the same time, only a bit later than the Zerg player gets their natural down, and that means you're then on equal bases, and the Zerg player really does not want that to occur. They want to be a base up on Terran, and really that puts them in the awkward spot of they've either got to try and take a quick third, or they've got to try and do some 2 base pressure and deal a lot of damage, and that's never really very viable. I mean, on Entomb Valley, it's probably one of the easiest maps if you did want to do that, just because of this large space here and here, but still, it's slightly awkward. The follow-up for the Terran, obviously, after the 1 Rax command center, is you usually get double gas, but already we're seeing the frozz not going for the 1 Rax command center, as he's chucking down a gas now, so this could be a very interesting opening. Now, anyone who subscribes to my channel, if my camera movements and things like that aren't up to their usual standard, I apologize. It is because my beautiful, lovely Rat9 mouse has decided to die after a 1.5 years of faithful service. Luckily, the awesome people at Mad Catz are replacing it for me, but I've got to go 10 days without it, and my only spare mouse is probably the most terrible mouse you could imagine. It is just diabolically horrible. It's literally like going from a Lamborghini to a 20-year-old Ford Fiesta in terms of quality, so this is really going to take me some getting used to. But as you can see here, this drone is being incredibly irritating. Has managed to get in the base, and I don't know if it has scouted out that gas yet. I assume he has. Yep, so he's seen the gas. He knows really what's going down. That's the important thing to be scouting, is what are the gas timings. Again, Delphi is going to be a bit confused by not seeing the command center down that early. That first gas will be interesting to see what it's going to be used for. It looks like it's a factory, so frozz seems to be going for almost a Hellion opener, which Hellion Expand really has fallen out of the metagame ever since Hellions became so much less effective. He does get it out an awful lot quicker, though. This drone will finally die to that Marine, though. A second Marine coming out as well. Meanwhile, for Delphi, well, the natural base is nearly complete. We do have, of course, the spawning pool about to finish up as well, so all those timings are good. The double queen production should start straight away. There we go. Everything's good there. So yeah, while we wait to see what's coming down here, obviously we've got the reactor, so it is going to be Hellions. Let me just say, exciting news coming up. This Sunday, the 25th of November, I hope this video has been released by then. It should have been. I am casting the Zowie Divina Asian Championships. It is between StarTales Miss and StarTales Aphrodite, and it is for $1,000, and it is going to be awesome. Times and details are all in on a Team Liquid thread, so do check that out. And also the weekend after, so the I think it's the 28th to the 2nd. Maybe I am doing I-47, which is Insomnia 47, the UK's biggest gaming event. So do check out all of those. I'm casting quite a bit there, and also doing observing for the finals. So that should be pretty damn awesome. Now, looking up here, we do have now the Tech Lab following on. So it looks like the expansion coming down. It's going to be just a bit of pressure. It's not all in or anything like that. So this can really be quite effective, especially when you think of the fact that only 1 queen forward, the 2nd queen on its way, we've got 2 more queens in production. I think that's great by Delphi, especially against Terran. Getting 2 additional queens to spread creep early on is fantastic. The 3rd base on its way down as well here for the Zerg player. He's also getting up the 2 gas straight away. The Hellions do manage to make it in, but there's only 2 of them, and there's more queens absolutely everywhere, so they're pretty much trapped in there now, and they're taking an awful lot of damage. Is one going to fall? No, not quite. Does manage to stay up. The Zerglings get away as well, but we should have some more Hellions on their way down soon as well. A Marauder coming out. We do have now the tech switch coming down. It looks like a factory coming on here, so we have got an awful lot of mech play coming on, well, getting ready to come down, so that is going to be some really nice play very shortly. Got the rocks in the center being taken out by the queens and also the Zerglings, and what I like about this, using the queens to take out these rocks, is get the most out of your units. These queens, they're not just there for spreading creep, they're not just there to defend. Use them to take out the rocks as well. It's only going to help you. It's getting absolute maximum efficiency from everything you get. Meanwhile, Roach Rowan coming down for Delphi, that's all good. We've just got the 2 gas for the Terran player, still just sitting on the 1 gas at the time being. Gonna have to start thinking about getting some more gas if it is going to be a heavy mech style. Judging by the amount of Hellions, we may actually see Blue Flame come out fairly quickly. And again, that's just something that could be quite potent, but just this sheer number of Hellions at this stage of the game will be very strong, because essentially that all that's on the field are the 4 Queens and 2 Zerglings in order to defend them. And with the lack of scouting information about this coming over, this could take Delphi by surprise, and these Hellions could start doing an awful lot of damage very, very quickly. They are coming up with some roaches, get out just in time, but there's only 2, a third one on the way, but so many drones are going to get killed already. We do have a good attempt of these Hellions to come into the main base. They're trying to pick off everything and anything they can. We've got more drones transferring down, and well, the drones in the main are lining up quite awkwardly at the moment, and we see so much damage being done here by frozz. This is absolutely huge. So many drones getting taken down at this stage. How many have gone already? 20 workers killed. That is absolutely massive. That is really not good for Delphi, the Zerg player, in this situation. As you can see, 28 to 34 workers remaining. That is just not fun in the slightest. Meanwhile, we've got the bunker down, we've got the second, third, and fourth gas coming down. Blue Flame is half done, and Delphi looks like he's coming for some counter pressure with just a couple of roaches, but this is not going to be successful due to the fact that bunker will be done in time. There'll be a Marauder in there as well, and well, we've got more Marauders in production, so to be honest, they're going to deal with the roaches very, very effectively, and we could see Delphi struggle to come back from this. A lot of drones are in production, already back ahead, but just such a big loss. In terms of the loss tab, you can see here that over 1,000 resources lost already by the Zerg player, and the majority of those are, well, drones, and obviously that not only hurts your immediate resources, the amount of resources and income you do have going along. The 2 Marauders are stat there in the bunker now. These roaches have pulled back. The Hellions on the way back down here. The third base is up for the Zerg player. That's the real saving grace and why Delphi has been able to resupply those drones so quickly. But Hellions have yet again got in here, and well, with Blue Flame they just do so much damage. More drones coming down, trying to close everything up, but they are lining up, and so many more drones getting taken out, and this is just such a problem for the Zerg player. They need to find an effective way to deal with this, otherwise you're going to end up in massive problems. Now 33 workers killed, and yet again that has knocked the Terran back ahead in terms of the worker count, and when you factor mules in there as well, that is absolutely huge. The endless harassment. The trouble is, and really the only concern I have for frozz in this game in the moment, is that he hasn't really teched up beyond that. He literally just has 4 Marauders and Hellions out, and against the big roach push, that could struggle. We've got Hellions coming around from the back again, could target this third base. Obviously quite a few workers down there, and well, if it is successful, it could be very strong. We've got the Zerglings poking up, and it looks like Delphi going to pull back for the moment. I don't think these Hellions have been spotted, which are coming around the back, and of course there's no units down on the third base at all, except for 1 Queen. That could do an awful lot of damage, and here we go. We do have the Hellions coming in yet again, and frozz is going to get so many worker kills here. It's going to be absolutely insane, and this continual harassment is just so frustrating for Zerg players to try and deal with. But as you can see, more and more workers getting taken out here, quicker and quicker. Of course, the Queen trying to pick off these Hellions as quickly as possible, but pretty much the entire mineral line at the third has now been taken out. 45 workers killed this game already, and well, Delphi really struggling to get the worker count up higher. In terms of tech, Lair is up, the 1-1 upgrades coming out, roach speed on the way as well, so this is definitely gearing up to be a kind of big roach push or something like that. But the problem is that if the tank count gets too high, that can become a serious problem. Obviously Thors, which are being produced at the moment by frozz, aren't a big issue because they are actually pretty weak against a large number of roaches, and if they're focused down. But tanks, if they siege up, they get good positions, they just wreck roaches. Now these Hellions are getting spotted. The roaches are in a great position to deal with them, but of course there's just so many Hellions that even though a couple have already gone down, so many drones are getting picked off. Most of the Hellions are now cleaned up, still 2 remaining. They should get cleaned out pretty easily, but you can see here now 50 workers have been killed, so that is nearly, for every 2 workers produced, 1 has been killed already by frozz, which is pretty insane. So we have pretty bad times for the Zerg player, but the counter-attack could be pretty strong. We've got the roach speed. The roach speed is done. The 1-1 upgrade is about to click in as well. In terms of upgrades for the mech, they do have +1 vehicle weapons, +2 vehicle weapons on its way down. Burrow coming for Delphi as well. That could open up some interesting options, especially in the harassment. We've got the roaches moving up. We've got, well, just 1 Thor and 1 tank on the field at the moment. The roaches being very, very strong. Forces a cancel at the third base of the Terran player, which is good. Obviously, oversaturation at the natural base there. So, frozz really limited to how many resources he can take up while he doesn't have that third base down. 2 SUVs just sitting there. For the moment, the fourth base coming out for Delphi, so doing the right thing, expanding out. An awful lot of gas sitting there at the moment for the Zerg player, but that'll all go, of course, once those pathogen gland upgrades get to 30 you can start obviously producing infestors, but obviously Delphi just waiting a little bit longer, needs a bit more minerals to really get a large number of infestors out, but that will really, infestors will shut this army down effectively because the fungal growth on the Hellion will reduce their mobility, and once you start reducing mobility, well, then it's really quite easy to clear up. Zerglings can get surrounds, etc., and it's really quite nice. Also, Hellions don't have a huge amount of health, and then to deal with the Thors and the tanks, well, we may even see Neural Parasite come out. It can be a very effective way to deal with them. These Zerglings actually getting a kill on the Hellion fairly quickly. The other Hellion goes down. We've got 2 Spine Callers at the third. No Spine Callers are the natural though, so that is potentially an area that could be attacked. These Roaches picking off some rocks, just trying to get a bit more maneuverability. The creep spread is absolutely fantastic. It could be a bit better, obviously, just keep spreading them out, but a lot of basically micro required, and frozz moving across the map now with a lot of units, and obviously with the SCVs in there as well, they not only soak up fire, but they can repair the mechanical units. 3 Thors, 2 tanks, a lot of Hellions, and a handful of Marauders are actually quite a potent force, especially against a heavy Roach army. So we're seeing good damage being done here. The creep spread getting pushed way back. And, well, is this going to be an easy defend for Delphi? No, it's not. Moving in, though. Are some Fungal Growths going to go down? Yes, they do. The Fungal Growths exactly on the money. We've got some infested Terrans getting lobbed as well. Hopefully they'll soak up some of the fire. The tank does manage to siege up. It's doing good damage for the time being, but there just looks like there's too much fire on Delphi's side for the moment. He's resupplying with an awful lot of Roaches. He manages to pick off the tanks, which are the biggest threat for the time being. He's waiting for that resupply. He needs to be very careful. The Fungal Growths were literally on the money. More scans going out, more creep tumors getting taken out. Well, Delphi does have the supply lead by 30, but is it going to be enough? We'll wait and see. Obviously, we do have some more units creeping across the map for the Terran. The Thors are going to be the big problem. They need to get focused down by the Roaches, need a good attack angle, and Delphi doing the right thing in my opinion at the moment of just pulling back and waiting for a good attack angle. Meanwhile, we've got him rushing forward now. He's got some resupplied units, but sees he's not going to be able to do it and doesn't overcommit, which is exactly the right thing to do. We've got the Hive and Spire coming down for the Zerg player at the moment, so Greater Spire and Broodlords are getting ready to be produced, but obviously they take a long time to get up to that sort of tech. Infestors don't have enough energy, any of them at the moment, for fungal growth, so they need to start, well, they should do soon. They're all about 10 energy off of fungal growth, so once that kicks back in, it'll be a good position to be in. We've got a lot of Zerglings in production. This 4th base may have to be sacrificed, unfortunately. The Hellions all clumped up, so if fungal growth did go off, it would be very effective on them. But here we go, the Roaches clumping forward, they're focusing down the Thors, and if they get good engagements, this will be absolutely fine. A lot of infested Terrans getting lobbed, preventing the retreat of the mech units, and those Roaches, they are just focusing down all of the Thors as quickly as they can. The Hellions are the big problem though, and Delphi now falling supply incredibly fast. Most of the Thors do survive, most of the Hellions do survive as well. The Infestors burrow, trying to get out of there, but as you can see, there's just some good damage being done absolutely everywhere. The Infestors trying to get taken out with a scan, do manage to get away, but of course, this is a kind of death fall right now we're talking about. We've got 20 more Roaches in production, and Delphi, he's losing his third, and the problem is he may have just taken too much damage. Is going for a counter-attack with a handful of Zerglings, but I don't know if it'll be enough. Obviously, frozz has no third base. He's just going straight to go and kill. Base racing a Terran in this position, probably not a good move as Zerg. And as you can see, this mech force is just constantly moving across the map. So many drones getting taken out. The Hellions are actually engaging away from the Thors, which is a bit of a problem because those Roaches have managed to get quite a good number of kills. Delphi is still just trying to resupply, trying to get a defense at his natural. If we take a look up here, most of the Zerglings have done nothing actually, so that counter-attack was not successful. Not a good attack angle here for Delphi. He should have waited for the mech unit to come through because he's attacking in a choke, which is never a good place to be, but he is managing to focus down quite a few of those Thors, some Roaches behind as well, so he does have a complete surround now, which is relatively advantageous, and it looks like Delphi is going to be able to clean this up in what was a massive push, and the counter-attack may be too much for the Terran player. He's got no tanks, he's got no siege mode, no siege tanks up obviously, and well, if he doesn't have a good number of tanks, well, the Thors alone are not going to be able to defend this. There's only 2 there. He's going to have to pull SCVs to try and repair those Thors in time, because otherwise this Roach force could just be too much, and Delphi is really in a position where he has to do an awful lot of damage. He's got his 4th re-up, but his 3rd base has been taken out. And essentially, these Roaches are going to have to do huge damage in order to put Delphi back ahead, because while he does have a worker advantage, he is really going to struggle if the mech army gets back up again. But here we go, the Thors trying to pull back, the SCVs aren't pulled in time. 1 Thor goes down. If the second 4 Thors, it is a GG, and frozz realizes that, and game 1 goes to Delphi, and his defense was absolutely brilliant. That was a hectic game. Anyway guys, I will see you at game 2 in any second. Flick over to my channel and I will catch you there. Bye for now.